I got sleep apnea. I don't know if everybody knows what sleep apnea is. It's where fat people go to sleep and they die. Their spouses think they snore. Right? And you hear the... That is your fat cells trying to suffocate you because they're like, we've lived a long life. We're done. Close that airway while he's not looking. Pile drive it. Boom. And what does the wife do, right? She spikes you in the elbow or in the side, and you breathe again. And she's like, oh, look at that. He stopped snoring. It worked. Right? No, you actually just put me closer to death. You move the fat cells around. So I wear a CPAP, right? Which looks like this big octopus that sits on your face like this. It's horrible, man. Absolutely. My son will come in. He goes, Dad? I'm like, I am your father.
I'm at the point of my marriage where I can annoy my wife. I can get on her nerves even when I'm unconscious. I've reached that Zen level of being an annoying husband. I'm like a black belt of annoying husband. Apparently, and I didn't know this, I snore. I only know that I snore because at 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife is screaming at me, I can't sleep like this. I'm like, neither can I with you screaming. Go to bed. I got that snore where you're half asleep and half awake watching TV and you get like... What? I have 2 Labradors. I wish I could snore and like... You ever see a dog sleep like... I don't know what's going on, but they're winning, I'll tell you that, right? I had to go for a sleep test. A sleep test where apparently I failed sleeping. The technician comes in the hospital. He puts all these wires all over my body. And he goes, go to sleep. And there's a camera. The next day he goes, Mr. Callahan, you stopped breathing 125 times throughout the evening. I go, let me ask you a question, Chief. When you're monitoring me with the cameras and the wire, was there anybody standing next to my bed who looked like my wife holding a pillow over my face? Because I think that's the real reason I stop breathing when I'm sleeping. I have sleep apnea. Anybody have sleep apnea that's willing to admit it with me? Huh? Oh, wow, you're very excited. It's like a sleep apnea club. Fantastic. For those of you, particularly you young guys that don't know what I'm talking about, you stop breathing when you're sleeping because your breath thing, your throat thingy collapses, right? So you have to have a sleep apnea machine. It's a machine connected to a hose, connected to a mask that pushes air into your face so you breathe. Girls, I want you to imagine this. Black socks, boxer briefs, mask over my face. Who's bringing sexy back? My wife says in the middle of the night, I open my mouth and all the air comes running out like... Better than the... I said, here are your choices. I'm a catch, ladies.
So I'm married. I haven't been married very long. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. You know, it's a big decision. When he moved in and he's laying next to me, I had that thought, oh, crumb. He's here. I wonder when he's going to go home. You're kind of stuck with each other. That's a big decision. He has sleep apnea, though. Every now and then he quits breathing. And I'm thinking, well, that might be my out. Yeah.
I met my wife. I'm happy. I've been married 32 years. I'm going to stay with her. And you know, if you're dating at my age, right? I have a friend. Poor guy lost his wife. He's on the dating scene again. Came to me for advice. He said, Hey, on my Match.com profile, should I put that I sleep with a CPAP machine? I said, no, I'd spring that on your honeymoon. First night, she'll roll over in the middle of the night, like, oh, I've married Darth Vader. Like, if I was a woman, I'd want to live with a guy that slept with a CPAP machine. Because on one of those days, your husband, he's being a jerk, being a real jerk all day. I'd bide my time. In the middle of the night, I'd unplug that thing and watch it. Plug it back in and act like I was concerned. You okay? I know it's hard to breathe when that machine doesn't work right.
Well, I'm trying to be healthy because I just had a health scare over the summer. I was walking the boat ramp. I'm a boater. And I was walking the boat ramp, and I had to stop dead in my tracks. I knew if I took one more step, man, I was going to die. I just felt it. I knew. I was praying. I was like, geez. I got home. I told my wife about it. She said, call the doctor. I called the doctor. He said, come in tomorrow. So he went in. He said, you feeling okay now? So yeah. So he checked. He said, man, Tom, something doesn't sound right. I'm going to send you to a cardiologist. I said, want me to just make an appointment in the way? He said, nah, I'm going to send you right now. So he sends over. They put me in this treadmill, and they put all these wires on my chest, and I'm there on the treadmill, and I'm like, you gotta stop. I'm gonna pass out. No, sir, we gotta get your heart rate up. And I go, no, you understand? I'm gonna die. And I get off the treadmill. I back into the doctor. The guy's younger than me. He's a dude. And you don't want your heart doctor calling you dude. You go, dude, you got blockage. So I don't know how much blockage you got, but we're gonna do a heart cath in the morning. We'll just fix it right then and there. And I fretted this heart cath all night long. I never had one. They go through your femur artery and all that stuff. And a pain scale 1 through 10, if you ever have to have this test, -1. You can't feel nothing. And so he's doing the heart cath. He goes, Tom, you got the heart of an 18-year-old boy. I said, I don't smoke. I don't drink beer like I did in college. He said, all right, man, go home and follow up with your primary care physician next week or something, but you're good. I went home. He failed to tell me that you're supposed to lie still for 8 hours after a heart cath. I went home, cut the grass, played the dogs, painted the bathroom. And I got what they call a pseudoaneurysm. Have rushed by ambulance to the hospital. They had to do this emergency surgery. It gets infected. I'm in the hospital for 11 days. And my doctor's like, Tom, while you're here, we won't find out what's wrong with you. Tested my lungs, fine. Tested my, thought I was having some kind of esophageal spasm. Tested my stomach for diverticulitis. No. Turns out, I've got extreme sleep apnea. Have you heard of that before? But my insurance won't cover that CPAP machine. So I kid you not, every night, I got to duct tape a leaf blower to my face.
My stepdad has a thing called sleep apnea. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's loud. What are y'all looking at me for? I don't even snore.
I can tell I'm getting older. I was recently diagnosed with sleep apnea. And if you don't know what that is, that's when you stop breathing while you sleep, causing you to constantly wake up. It's also the only condition that your friends don't think is a real thing. I know this because I travel with other comedians, and we sometimes have to share hotel rooms. And when I bring out that CPAP, they got questions. They're like, now why do you need that? Because I stop breathing when I sleep. And they're like, well, just don't. Just keep breathing. One guy tried to show me. He's like, you look, when you lay down, just start like this. You just keep going. Like it was a TED Talk. Like I just needed motivation to breathe.
People always ask where comedians get their material, and I have to be honest, things happen to us that don't happen to doctors and lawyers. I'll give you an example. I was at a convention, and I was sleeping, I was rooming with another comedian. He's a road warrior, and he's trained himself. He can't sleep unless the TV is on and the lights are on. And he also has a sleep apnea machine. which is great if you like sleeping next to Darth Vader. It's like, all right, I've got earplugs, that helps, but I like to sleep in the dark. It's a quirk. So I put a pillow over my head, but I like to breathe. Another quirk. I didn't bring a sleep mask. I don't know what to do, so I'm lying there thinking, all right, what am I gonna? I do have clean underwear. Okay, you're ahead of me. Okay, so I get up and I put a pair on like a mask, and it's great. It's got 2 openings for my ears and a convenient opening for my nose. It's perfect. I was gonna give you a while to catch on, but a lot of you are already there. All right, you're there. Okay, so I'm lying back in bed, and I feel like a superhero right now. I really do. I feel like I'm Tidy Whitey Man. That's who I am. And I'm waiting for my sidekick, Boxer Boy, and we'll go fight our nemesis, Granny Panty. So it's great. It works. I'm just about to fall asleep, and I think to myself, what if I die like this? It's like, how would they explain this to my wife? I was like, Mrs. Lee, we found your husband in the hotel room with another man with underwear on his head. So I get up and I write a note, and I put it in the pillow next to me. It says, if found dead, please remove underwear. I'm about to doze off, and I realize, gotta write another note. The top ones. You cannot be too careful. So, I fall asleep, it's great. I wake up the next morning to the sound of laughter, and the other comedian is laughing, and they ask if I'm a dyslexic dresser. And it turns out he's taken pictures of me, and yes, and he's posted them on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, which sounds bad, but I got an endorsement deal from Fruit of the Loom, so it's great. That's right. At this age, I'm an underwear model. Thank you very much. I was like...
He told me that I started all the fights the first year of our relationship. And I said, how do you figure that? And he said, I start fights simply by asking him when he gets home, what's wrong with you? It's his trigger. He gets all sensitive. For me, that's just communication, right, ladies? What's wrong with you? So I figured out if I can get him to ask me that, then he can't say that anymore. And I figured out a way to do it. When I'm mad at him, I just start charging stuff on his Amazon account. That's the men groaning right there, not the women. Right? The first time I charged 98 packs of beads within 10 minutes. Do you know what that does to a man's card and his phone? He was sitting at work. Ping, 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 ping. Ping, 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 ping. He called after about 75. He said, honey, what's going on? Are you charging stuff on the Amazon account? And I said, yep. It's important. He knew I was mad, right? I said, yep. This is what he said next. Is there something wrong with you? I won. That was 1 point for me. The next time I was mad at him, I charged 300 feet of hose. He called instantly. He said, did you just charge 300 feet of hose? And I said, yep. And he said, what for? And I said, I'm trying to figure out how much hose I need to hook the car exhaust up to your sleep apnea machine. You know what he said? Is there something wrong with you? I won. I call that Return of the Amazon Women, everybody. Thank you. He cut me off now. I can't charge anything anymore. Just tough when you live in Seattle, right?
One more thing about me. I have sleep apnea, you guys. It sucks. Do you guys know what that is? Yeah. It's not exciting. Unless you want me to die. No, basically I stop breathing in my sleep, you guys. It's terrible. It's terrifying. And it's a nerdy disease. It fits my personality. Like, it's not cool. You can't make it sound cool. Like, if you have athlete's foot, you can kind of brag a little bit. You can be like, yo, when I'm working out and I get sweaty, I get this manly fungus between my toes. There's no bragging with sleep apnea. It's like, listen, guys, sometimes when I'm laying down completely still with my eyes closed, I run out of breath. It's sleep apnea. The way that I found out I have sleep apnea is because I got married. You want to know what's wrong with you? Just get married, you guys. They'll let you know first thing in the morning. I have a fantastic wife, though. I got married. My wife woke me up one day. She's like, Lam, I think you have sleep apnea. You stopped breathing in your sleep. And I was like, honey, you're quick to pass judgment on people's sleeping habits, so we both have some stuff we need to work on. And I got defensive. I was like, honey, maybe I'm just constantly dreaming that I'm underwater. Or maybe I hate the smell of my nightly farts as much as you do. Holding my breath. She won that argument, you guys. I had to go to the sleep doctor. He did an examination. He looked me up and down. He was like, Lam, you do have sleep apnea. You have two options. You can have an expensive and painful surgery, or you can eat right, exercise, and lose some weight. And I thought about it. I was like, sign me up for that surgery, son.
Oh, that is the worst, when your bathroom trips in the middle of the night become movie times. I'm going at 1:30, 2:45, 3:15, 4:45. And if I don't remember to lift the seat, a special showing at 3D in 6:45. I'm always open to people's ideas of how to actually sleep through the night. One night when the lady yells out, warm milk. I tried it and forgot I was lactose intolerant. Awake and gassy is not fun. Let me share that with you. Some lady one night yelled out white noise. How anyone can sleep with Eminem playing, I have no idea. So glad you got that. I live in Florida. They never get that joke. I can't eat candy late at night either. The M&Ms just jack me up. Oh, I know they're shady. They're real shady. Okay, Mom. No, white noise. It's one of those machines that makes the sounds of nature, like a waterfall or the ocean or a rainstorm, which is awesome when you have a problem going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That's what you want in your ear all night. So much fun. That happened. Then I started snoring and got restless leg. At some point as a man, you go from even remotely sexy to like a machine that makes candy in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Gee, honey, we're not as romantic as we used to be. I don't know why. That's the worst. The poor thing. And I've got the perfect wife. And she's so sweet. Just after she finishes making that pillow barrier between us, and just before she puts in that last earplug that I got her at the gun range, she will look at me with no anger and no hate in her face and look up and go, anything else you want to say before I put this last earplug in? She's so cool. There's no young, pretty people cuddling thoughts like, when we get married, we're going to cuddle all night, wake up in each other's arms with perfect breath and good hair. She knows that we're going to cuddle for like 5 minutes, and then we have to push apart, because if we fall asleep touching at all, we're going to have a hot flash and wake up in a puddle, and that is the worst thing. Like, wake up and go, ooh, my ankle's wet. How do feet sweat? My ankle is sweaty. And I did not want to go down like this. I said, no, I still got it. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to the doctor. Doc says, it's not a big deal, man. We'll do a sleep study, and we'll figure out what the problem is. I said, well, what could it be? He goes, you might have sleep apnea. I said, what's that? He goes, well, you just stop breathing in your sleep, and you could die. And I go, that's not a big deal? He goes, no, it's not that big a deal. I said, actually, it sounds pretty good if you talk about it. It's one of two ways I could go. Either I could go peacefully in my sleep, or she could put a pillow over my face. And I really wouldn't blame her at all. So I went in for the sleep study, which is always fun. And I don't like the doctor. I don't like the whole process. I don't like the attitude at the place where you go with the people. We need you here early, sir. We need you here early. What, so a doctor can be an hour late while I sit out there with real sick people? Because you know there's real... You go in for a sore shoulder, there's somebody with a cold and the flu and the plague and Ebola. Then they put you in a room with magazines that you know have the start of the virus for The Walking Dead. Those things are nasty. What do I need to be there so early for? She goes, for the privacy paperwork. We're very concerned about your privacy, sir. So I fill it out. I'm waiting 25 more minutes. She comes out from behind the counter and goes, is there a Tim Wilkins here? Is there a Tim Wilkins who's here for nighttime incontinence? Tim Wilkins. Social Security number 56473. My privacy.
Wrote down, man. Wrote down. I am, one thing about losing the weight, my snoring's gotten a lot better. My wife's happy about that. My snoring was getting so bad. I woke up one day a few months ago. My wife was in the next room. I was like, are we that couple now? She's like, I can't, it's too loud. I was like, do I have the apnea though? People are dying from that sleep apnea. I go, do I have that? She goes, I don't know what that is. I said, do I stop breathing in the middle of the night? She said, no, I wish. That's hateful.
You guys are awesome. You know, how many of you ladies have a husband that snores? Raise your arm. I want to help you out. What are you looking at? You know, don't do that. Don't be scared. Oh, your wife? No, that's not your wife. Oh, okay. Ladies, admit it. If your husband snores, say something. I have an aunt who died from secondhand sleep apnea. It will kill you. Men don't admit it. No, I don't snore. And like, hey, 200 likes on Facebook. I taped you last night. Men don't understand that this woman they married was one day going, oh, I would love to marry a prince. And we're not going to sleep at night anymore. We're going to catch up and talk and listen to music. And then you get married, wedding night at midnight, he's... But you're still madly in love. You go, oh, my honey needs oxygen. Tilt your head, honey bunny, you're making little noises. 2 years later, you still have not slept since wedding night. He's still... But now your attitude have changed. You look at him, look up and say, just take him. Moses killed an Egyptian and you forgave him. Let's just call it a pillow fight that went wrong. Ah! 5 years later, you no longer sleep in bed next to him. You're just standing there staring at him. I don't respect you. Look at you, you oxygen hog. You suck the roof when you inhale. And you start treating him like a dog. Roll over, roll over. He goes, what? Lay down. 10 years later, he has the machine now. Go, I should have listened to my mother. She knew something was wrong with him. 15 years later, he's older, drooling, hair on the throat, like... Just go, here's your sacrifice. Just take him. I'm done. Send me to India. I'll do any work. Just... What does he sound like? Bad? Some of them sound like a Harley Davidson that needs tune-up. They'll be... Honey, put it in neutral. I'm trying to sleep. Some sound like a lion facing a hummingbird. They'll be... Some of them scare you. They'll be... Wake up. We have a mortgage. Wake up. Not in this economy. You're not leaving. Good one. I don't know why I don't snore from the Middle East with like Jewish people. We snore when we talk. Hi, how are you? And my wife doesn't snore either. So we hear every noise that happens downstairs. We have a fridge that waits for us, I know it. To go to bed and the ice cubes will go... And my wife would go, what was that? I go, I don't know. I get scared too, you know what I mean? She goes, go down and check. It's your turn. I went the last time. But you're the man. What if it's a female burglar? One time I was doing the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, home of country music. God bless America. And after the show, they gave me this suite at the Opryland. Two big beds. Forgot to book a room for my road manager and the crew. And I go to the road manager. I said, hey, I have an extra bed. He goes, no, you're the artist. I'm like, oh, come on. So he's older. He's sleeping. I'm sleeping. I wake up to hear someone cutting a tree and eating Doritos at the same time. Like, all night. So I put my headphones on. I put it on Drake and rap. It's the loudest thing I could come up with. It didn't help. It was like... just killed it. So I took my pillow. I said, I'm going to choke him a little bit. So I get close to him. He started dreaming out loud. Oh, they're coming. Open the door. Run to the car. Start the car. The car won't start. I wanted to choke him, but I wanted to hear the end.